All right, and welcome once again. All takes valid. As always, I go by Trill Trey. Here we have Spence or SP21 eating a W, and our
ENIW.
boy Vic. So, Vic, go ahead and
Yo.
give him the rundown for this episode.
All right. So this is episode 10. We have the recap of week 9. A lot of craziness went down, followed by the COVID and injuries update for this upcoming week. We'll be talking in depth about the COVID news that has seemingly keeps appearing every week. Injuries, few injuries, nothing too crazy. Week 10 power rankings for you know thus far in this season. We got the Thursday night football game, Titans versus Colts. Should be an interesting one. You'll see who we decide on who's going to be the winner. So with that being said, let's recap on week nine's wins and losses. I'm gonna go ahead and just give a rundown real quick for those that may or may have not seen it. Um, Ravens beat the Colts 24-10. Panthers beat the Chiefs.
Oh,
Chiefs beat the Panthers. My apologies. Chiefs beat the Panthers 33-31. That went down to the wire. Bears versus
hey,
Titans.
hold on real quick. Spence said he liked it to be a kick. We said it was
It's
going to
gonna
be like
be
a 10 point.
it's gonna be decided on a kick.
Yeah, that was a good prediction on your part. uh, the Bears let me down. They lost to the Titans 24-17. Lions lost to the Vikings 34-20.
I guess they're consistent now.
Texans got their second dub.
And we
So
all called that
now,
one.
yeah, 27-25 Texans. They almost had a tie game and potentially could have possibly went to overtime. But Giants beat the DC, the Washington football team, 23-20. Hawks lost to the Bills, 44-34. Raiders,
They've been hearing me talking bad about them Bills. Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Settle down.
Raiders beat the Chargers, 31-26. The Miami Dolphins
Them Dolphins, baby.
Cards,
Dumb Dolphins.
34-31. The Steelers hung in there tight, 24-19 to continue their undefeated season.
In the W.
The Pats versus the Jets. Pats won 30-27.
Mm.
Broncos versus the Falcons. Falcons won 34-27. And,
Oh
Saints versus
no. Oh no.
Bucks. Bucks
Let's,
lost. So,
no.
with that being said,
No. Let's make sure we say scores. Say scores, sir. Say scores, sir.
we'll get back to that
No, no,
one.
no, 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 no. Say scores, sir. Say scores, sir.
Well, since you got something to say, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Oh, okay. Well, since you were there watching this massacre happening before your eyes,
Yeah, how do you enjoy the game?
yeah, how was that game? Don Julio, got
Uh,
it. All right. Well,
that says enough.
that says enough that I need to know. Well, all you need to know is that this man right here tells you what happened. I don't know what happened out there. I don't know if AB is the kryptonite and just shut everything down like a factory, or just y'all just forget everything that what Drew Brees and the Saints can do. Like Tyson Hill just looked unstoppable out there. He couldn't do no wrong. He ran, he passed, he threw. Caught. Like what do you want him to do? Special teams, he was just on fire. Man, I think there was a lot of defensive miscues because you can see. I think it was like Shaq Barrett or David just telling people like, "Hey, get here," or "Hey, come here." Something's like these zones are wrong. Like, man, it was just he just had a field day. Drew Brees had a field day out there, guys. A field day, and Tom just didn't look. Tom just didn't look like Tom. this is not the quarterback that y'all wanted come here and do that. Because if that was the case, y'all would have kept him. So, guys, this was a big game. I told y'all this game could probably propel in who's leading division, and I'm telling you right now, the Saints look like they are the high favorites. Now, I think they're going to play again this is it.
No, that was the second meeting.
Oh, that's 1-1.
It's a
Okay,
sweep.
yeah.
No, it's a sweep. It's a sweep.
No. We'll beat
That's
them.
It. They beat them week 1.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna beat them when it counts.
Well, let's hope y'all do, because this one right here, this was supposed to be the tiebreaker, and y'all just look like y'all got swept again. Y'all should have passed the controller 2 quarters ago. But that's enough about me. Trey, you have anything to say about this?
Well, as far as this game, I mean, I enjoyed the game. I actually enjoyed this because there's been a lot of, since the Brady signing in Tampa, it's been a lot of Super Bowl expectations, proclaiming the Super Bowl already. Like they didn't have to play anybody. Like the Saints haven't been established in y'all division. They're just supposed to lay down because y'all got Tom Brady. That's what people think. And I think that was more so the reason why they celebrated how they did, because they've been hearing all the rumblings. They've been talking about the Bucks this, the Bucks that. So this was like okay. I guess the first one, y'all had excuses. It was week 1. You guys haven't gelled. That's cool. At this point, it's safe to say you guys were riding pretty high, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see what happened. Drew Brees is still a bad man, and that's a young secondary, and he showed like he picked them boys apart. And another interesting stat is when he targeted Levante David and your boy, who's that in the Levante David and Devin White. I'm sorry, Levante David, Devin White. He completed 12 out of 13 attempts when targeting them. Pretty safe to say Drew Brees was doing pretty much whatever he wanted, as well as Taysom Hill. Like that was crazy to me. At first, I thought it was disrespectful that they didn't put Jameson until as late as they did. I'm like, you guys are really gonna put in Taysom Hill? But he was productive. He was moving the offense still. So I'm like, okay, let me shut up. Let me sit back. And then finally, in the very end, Mr. E to W, he got in. I mean, people say he's acting like he won the game, but if we look at the final QB ratings here, Drew Brees 135.2, Taysom Hill 118.8, Jameis Winston 116.7, and GOAT Brady, Mr. Tampa Bay, 40.4. At home. The shit was gonna be rocking. You told me, you was there.
You supposed to fire the cannon.
The cannon was supposed to be firing.
We're supposed to be live.
Hey,
y'all kicked the garbage time field goal to make it look better.
Decent.
That's
decent,
lead, bro. Come on.
Listen, Marshawn. Look,
if you're gonna score a touchdown, like when I knew it was over though. No, I'm be real, because I watched the game.
I watched
up until a certain point. Then it was just like, all right, this is done, and this is when I knew. This is when I knew it was done. So, I said to my boy, I was watching the game, but he's a Bucks fan as well. I'm like, when they came out in the beginning of third quarter, I'm like, you guys need a turnover. He's like, yeah, we need to stop. I'm like, no, you need a turnover. They get a turnover. They are finally past the 50 because the offense couldn't move past the 50 the whole time. So they get the ball, great field positioning. You go to the red zone, goal line. You run the ball once, and then 3 pass attempts in the goal line. You couldn't think of any better play call than that. Like it was kind of baffling to me. Then the fact that I think on the game there was only, I want to say 6 rushing attempts the whole game.
I think it was 5.
Lowest in NFL history.
Yeah.
5 with 1 kneel.
So now, granted, I mean, some people will say, well, when you're getting blown out, you can't run the ball. Yeah and no, because there's been other teams that you have seen in certain situations like that, and you still got to make it. You got to keep the defense honest, as they say. Like if we know you're just gonna pass, guess what? They're gonna just send the house at Brady, and that's kind of what happened. But we can I can go on all day because I enjoyed that game. It was very
I mean,
Now, granted, I thought this was going to happen the Packers game. I didn't expect it to happen this game. So y'all shut me up the Packers game. Y'all showed up and showed out. But then now, I think this was worse than what y'all did to the Packers. Actually, the fact that it's also division rivals. But go
mhm.
ahead, Mister Bynum. You were there. You
Oh
tell us
yeah.
something that we didn't see. You might have saw something I didn't see.
Other than a murder of a friend that you couldn't save. Go ahead. I'll be over here with the dub.
Well, it was a dreadful game. One of two games that Buccaneers fans are allowed to go to. Well, actually, I they have a whole priority list. So, depending on how long you've been a season ticket holder, depends on your priority in terms of like what games you can go to and whatnot. This was one of the two that I was able to choose. I think the other one was like the Falcons, and there was another game, but I was just like, yeah, I'd rather go to like a prime time game. So this one is one, and the other one is against the Rams, which that's next weekend. Not this one, but next weekend. But so my thoughts on the game though, it was it was tough. I mean, all I could say offensively, it just looked like they had some rhythm. Like it was just there's a lot of timing issues, whether the receiver was in the right spot and Tom Brady may have, threw it short or, you know, like the deep pass to AB, like clearly Tom Brady underthrew that one. If he would have let him down the field, he would have definitely, I think he would have definitely scored on, I believe it was Jenkins,
Yeah.
Janoris Jenkins. Defensively, I mean, Drew Brees played a better game than I think anybody thought. We hadn't seen Drew Brees play like the way he did, which he didn't need to do too much, but he did just enough. He was efficient. I think he had like 224 touchdowns passing, which he could have also had one more, but the tight end he dropped a pass in the end zone, and what was it? Levante David forced a fumble, which just for Bucks fans to know, Levante he hyperextended his knee, and they said that he should be fine for this weekend's game against the Panthers. So we caught a break on that one. Thought it was going to be like a non-contact injury, torn ACL or something like that. So definitely happy about that. Knock on wood, continue not to get bitten. We didn't have Ali Marpet on offense, which, it's one player, it's an offensive lineman, but, he's definitely been all pro player this year. All in all, it was just a really bad game. But one thing I want to just get across for all Bucks fans, hey, this is one game. It's still the regular season. Obviously, this is the first time that they had Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Antonio Brown are all on the same field together. And also, just for those that forgot, Tom Brady was once annihilated on, I think it was a Monday night or Sunday night football game against the Kansas City Chiefs back in 2014, where they got destroyed. And it was at home, I'm pretty sure. Um, so, again, it's Tom Brady. He's not going to lose back to back. But season's still young and got some fine tuning to do. But defensively, it was a poor performance. But again, Drew Brees played a pretty good game. Offensively, I think they just need to continue to work on their rhythm, their continuity, and hopefully, come time playoffs when it really matters, they can pull out the dub and go from there. But one thing for sure, I definitely had my good fill of humble pie because yeah, I was one of many people who thought the Bucks were going to win. So with that being said, that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well,
And I'm a drink today.
there's a couple more games I want to touch on. A couple interesting games. First off, that Jets game last night, the Jets and Patriots was actually a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Like I thought I was going to be bored watching it. I thought I was probably going to stop watching halfway through. I watched
Yeah.
that game the whole way through, and it was actually a highly competitive game, more competitive than that game that we just spoke about. So, yeah, the Jets they tried. They led pretty much the whole game. But in the end, J.C. Jackson made an interception. They capitalized and scored. The Jets had a chance to pretty much seal the game if they would have scored again. They went 3 and out. I don't know what they were doing on that last drive they had, and they gave the ball back to Cam with like I want to say a minute and 43 left with one timeout or something like that, and Cam put together a drive. And I feel like it was big for Cam. I said if he loses to the Jets, then yeah, this is pretty much the end for Cam there. But I mean, Cam did what he's expected to do. He, when the game was on the line, had the ball in his hand in the end of the game. That's all a quarterback, a starting quarterback, a former MVP quarterback. That's what you were expected to do in those situations. Close the game. Hats off to Joe Flacco, though. I believe he had 4 touchdowns last night. Like that boy, looked like what was that? The 2012 Ravens.
Yeah, that was the last time we won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So yeah, he didn't quite look like that because he threw an interception, but because Flacco was pretty much flawless that one season. But nonetheless, that was actually an entertaining game. You guys have any thoughts on that one?
Well, I saw the game too, so it was actually good. Actually a good game that I was like, okay, this is actually something. Yeah, Joe Flacco look great. I'm like, man, he's playing play days with old out there. And but as the end comes down, the Pats got the win. Good, because Cam really needed to win this one, man. If he lost this one, I don't know what would have happened. So, good win for them. but it's good that he got the win, man. I'm glad he got the win, man.
Yeah, the Jets almost told you to put some respect on their name.
Right.
We put enough respect on it. Like we put enough on it. They did what they do in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
They are who we thought they were.
I saw it.
Oh, Cam. They said that after the game. Well, actually today, Cam had stated that his neck is sore from that hit that he took from Austin Davis from the Jets safety.
Yes.
So,
yeah, that boy put a hat on him.
Yeah.
And that was legal hit though. That was football.
Yeah.
That was football. The thing is, Cam didn't even see it, so it's like maybe if he's seen it even at the last second, he could have kind of prepared for it. He never saw him coming. And that boy, Ashton David, he's only starting because they had some injuries, so he was forced to start. This is his second game starting, and he played a pretty good game for what it's worth. He's one bright spot that the Jets still have left, I can say.
Now, other than that, I honestly didn't watch most of the game. I was kind of busy playing Madden. Had a back-to-back game, so I seen some highlights, but I seen it definitely towards the last 2 drives. Looked like it was possibly going to go to overtime, but then from what I was seeing, the way that the Patriots were moving the ball, it didn't look like there was going to be much of an overtime if they got a second opportunity to kick the game-winning field goal.
Right.
Now, y'all was just getting on my Bucks, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch up the tempo. And I need y'all to put some mother effing respect on my Ravens as well. All these talks, and I know Trey, you mentioned it last week, talking about that, we've been able to play good and against other top tier opponents like the Seahawks, the 49ers last year, and everybody's always talking about that the Ravens can't win when they're down. We were down 7-10 at half. We got the job done. It was a winning team, and of course, this is the first time in Ravens history that we beat the Colts in Indy. Fun fact for those that didn't know. And the Ravens broke the record for the most 20-point games in NFL history, which beat the 2012 through 2014 Denver Broncos team led by Peyton Manning. So now we're at 31 consecutive games. Lamar, obviously, pretty sure everybody knows about this. Lamar tied with Dan Marino, 25-5 in the first 30 games of his career. And he went 10 for 10 in the second half, which they were struggling in the first half, but it just looked like it was just some timing issues. And second half, they came out in a more no huddle offense. And yeah, he went 10 for 10 for 119, and they scored 17 unanswered points, which they won 24-10. And this is also the 31st 100-yard game that the Ravens have had, which is third most in NFL history. So I don't know if y'all have anything to say about that.
I mean, I watched that game too. So yeah, y'all came back from being behind, but 7-10 is not really the same type of deficit I was referring to when you guys get down. But if we're gonna be technical, I guess congratulations.
They said let him have it.
Now, what changed that game though, if you were watching the game, was so they were up 7. They were driving, and then you guys made a good play on defense. That's what you guys
Marcus
do.
Peters.
You're one of the top teams in forcing turnovers. So they took that back to the house, and that kind of swung the momentum a little bit to like get y'all into the game really. If that doesn't happen, it's potentially you guys are down 17-0 going into half, and then I don't know if it gets in y'all psyche or if y'all would have still been able to come back the way y'all did. But nonetheless, comeback win. Hats off to you guys. Can't say anything about that.
All right, Spence.
I'm good, man. Hey, y'all got a W. Y'all got a W.
Okay. So,
Okay. So speaking of comebacks, we're gonna go ahead. I know you're itching to. You feel like you're gonna send some shots, so go ahead. But yeah, my Pittsburgh Steelers. Whoa. So Dallas, huh? Boys came to play, huh? They 2 weeks in a row we've given up over 100 yards rushing. We are definitely, like I said last week, not making excuses, but it is factual. We are missing 2 key pieces on our defense as far as who help out in our run stopping. Tyson Alualu at nose tackle, and Mike Hilton, who arguably one of the best nickel safeties in the league. He's known. We send him, on the blitz a lot. He gets in there. So he definitely helps out a lot in our run game. We've been having to start Cameron Sutton. He's okay. He's not nothing to write home about, but yeah. So they pretty much gashed us, more so Pollard than Zeke. You could see the difference in the burst in the running, like when Pollard was in there. Like Zeke, you can tell he's getting kind of older, like all the years of so many carries each season. He doesn't have that same burst, and you kind of notice that in the Cardinals game earlier this season. Like when Pollard, the more Pollard does get touches, you see the difference in the burst between the two bats. But nonetheless, what is his name? Double G's, Garrett Gilbert. What
Yeah,
something?
Gary
Uh,
Gilbert.
yeah, whatever his name was. Yeah,
Last name Gilbert. That's all I
yeah,
know.
yeah. I know his first name starts with a G too. But anyways, um, I will say, again, this is not an excuse, but the only film that they had on him was from 2014 when he played in the AFL.
AF.
So I mean, you didn't really have anything to kind of prepare for to kind of help you out. Um, Looks like the Cowboys did get back a few pieces on their offensive line for this game because uh, they pretty much neutralized TJ Watt pretty good, Bud as well. We only got 2 sacks, and that came pretty late in the game. They did a good job protecting him. And one thing I will say about Gilbert, he definitely has a quick release. It was 2-step dropping out each time, not a 4-step drop, not a 3-step drop, 2-step dropping out. He was getting the ball gone out his hand. There was one time we would have had a sack on him, and somehow he managed to get the ball out of there still. And like he played a great game up until I said watching the game, I'm like, he will give us one. He's gonna give us one. And when we needed it, they were in goal line. Even if they would have kicked three, it would have made it that much harder for us to come back and win the game. Uh, but that just comes with the, you know, it's a I guess a learning curve for a quarterback like that. He there's a reason he hasn't had a job in the NFL for this long, and it kind of showed there. That was just a you just take the sack there. To me, you don't force anything when you're in the red zone and you have the lead. At the very worst scenario, you settle for the three. That's fine. We're already up. But he forced it, and Minka being Minka, he just always finds a way to be around the ball. But as far as the offense, kind of started off slow. The run game, again, Dallas did a good job of neutralizing Connor, even though we know anybody who knows me, Pittsburgh Steelers fan through and through, not the biggest James Conner fan. He's a good story. I understand everything he went through, Pittsburgh native and all that. That's cool. He went to school in Pittsburgh. He went through a lot. The fact that he's still playing football, great story. But we definitely that's one thing we need to address in the offseason. We have to upgrade the running back position for me. If it's me, we're not re-signing him. So offense kind of had a slow start. Once we went exclusively to passing, Ben started to get a rhythm, and them boys ended up, they made plays when needed to make plays, especially Juju in the clutch. I've started to notice this is the second week in a row, especially in big games against Baltimore down the stretch. Uh, Claypool, he's made plays. James Washington had already scored in the game, but it seems like in the clutch situations when we need a score, you can say what you want about Juju. He's not being the one. When we need a score, that's who's been calling his number, and he comes through just about every time. So if that's not a one, I don't know. I mean, we pretty much have a wide receiver committee. So if you look at everybody's stats, it's pretty even. But even as far as targets, Juju leads in targets. He leads in yards, and he's only second to Claypool. He's a touchdown behind Claypool. So you can say what you want that he's not a one. But, I mean, like I said, when we need a play, they're going to Juju. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to deliver. But closer than what anybody expected, even though historically we do kind of play into, as they say, trap games. We tend to play down to opponents a lot. We'll get up for big games. We beat Tennessee, we beat Baltimore, but we'll do stuff like this as well. Historically, we do it. I'll never forget, I believe 2008 playoffs, we lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars and David Garrard. Big Ben has a losing record against the Raiders. We've historically played down to teams, so this is not nothing. I'm not worried about this. For whatever reason, we tend to do this. The good thing about it is,
the Jags were a hot team that year too, with Garrard.
They were, but we still were favored in that game. There's no reason
Yeah.
we should have. Now the most recent loss to the Jaguars, because they're a team who pretty much gets the best of us. They, that AFC Championship Jaguars team, that was a little different, but we still were favored in that game too. So it's just like I don't know. Oh, another one. I know you love this one. The Denver Broncos in the playoffs with Tim Tebow.
Oh yeah.
We historically will play down to teams. So I mean,
I was happy that weekend.
but like I said, in the end, we came out with the W. That's all I care about. And Ben, thankfully, he took a big hit that he had to leave the game for the last series of the second half, and Mason Rudolph came in, and we as Steelers fan remember what that looked like last season. And I was so thankful that Ben was able to come back, because if we had to lose Ben for the season's over, I'll tell you now, 8-0, we'll probably end up going 8-8 with Mason Rudolph as quarterback. I have no faith in him whatsoever. The defense will still be the defense. The defense will keep us close. They'll keep us in games. But as far as depending on Mason Rudolph to score points, no faith whatsoever. That's another thing we need to upgrade in the offseason. A quarterback, a backup quarterback, if Ben still plays. But Vic, go ahead. Go ahead. Take your shots, I guess, if you need.
With the Steelers versus the Cowboys, I was definitely shocked to see that the Steelers were losing in the fashion that they were against the Cowboys. Um, when I seen Ben get injured, I was definitely. I mean, everybody's seen it. I think we seen it the first time against the Titans. Then you definitely seen it against the Ravens last week, where he was holding on to his elbow. But of course, this time it was more so him holding him. He was holding on to his elbow at one point, but then he was eventually his knee was it was visibly noticeable to seeing that he was starting to have a limp in his walk. And then of course he went to get it checked out before halftime, and I was just like, man, if the Steelers are going to continue the undefeated streak, they need Big Ben to come back out. And I know he's a soldier, so he's everybody knows Big Ben as somebody that's going to tough it out. But honestly, my thoughts right now, the Steelers need to protect him, but I don't know if he'll be able to make it through the season. That's just that's just my thought on that. Of course, I don't, I wouldn't want that to happen because I want to beat, I want my Ravens or just any team to beat, Steelers at their best. But that boy Gilbert was definitely looking good. And one thing that I definitely noticed about him, his pocket awareness. Whenever he stepped up in the pocket, he would make some key throws. Zeke and Tony Pollard, they were definitely doing their thing, running the rock. Zeke looked like he had a little bit more burst than the previous weeks, but other than that, once the second half came and it was an interception, I believe, that happened that the Cowboys threw, and I was just like, yeah, it's not the Cowboys going to give this game up. I just know it. The Steelers started to drive the ball down the field. Ben was like just getting it. I was just like, yeah, I would not be surprised if Dallas chokes, and they did exactly that. I felt like they had some opportunities to, as Trey alluded to earlier, with the interception that Gilbert threw in the red zone. Yeah, he could have threw it. He could have either threw it away, taken a sack, but he did neither one of those. He tried to force it in there. My personal opinion, I didn't really see anything that was really open. So I think he was going to throw a pick regardless. But obviously, the safer option would have been just to take the sack, unless if he was throwing it out of bounds. That could have been the other option. But uh, yeah, other than that, yeah, the Cowboys, they definitely kind of shocked the world to say, because I didn't expect them to stop the run that much either. And the past game, yeah, they definitely did their thing. One key injury that I also saw, which is kind of ahead of to the next topic, but um, Trayvon Diggs, cornerback for the The Cowboys. He fractured a bone in his foot. So for those Cowboys fans out there that are still, you know, hoping for something good to come out of this, y'all continue to get some bad news. Um, but yeah, that's all my thoughts on that game. I'm glad that the Steelers won again because again I am looking forward to the next meeting with the Baltimore Ravens versus the Steelers, and we go ahead and end that undefeated season.
Oh
So
boy.
that's all my thoughts on that. So on to the Fins. Dolphins beating the Arizona Cardinals 34-31. Spence, what's your take?
We can't hear you.
Technical difficulties.
No.
Nothing.
Hang on.
We hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Hey, just do the intro.
All right.
Just do the intro again, Vic.
All
What the heck
right.
happened?
So now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Dolphins. Miami Dolphins beating the Arizona Cardinals 34-31. Spencer, what you got to say about that, my brother?
As gracious as we see it before our eyes, I know it's crazy. A lot of people counted this out, but look what Lord Winston gave us. A W. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have got a W. Man, that game was, of course, close as I would like it to be, but it's the Cardinals. Once again, I'm not taking away from this. Is Kyle Murray had a hell of a game. Okay, a hell of a game. So let's not take away from him. Let's thank Zane Gonzalez for shortening that kick. I don't know how he missed a 49, but made a 57 this year. But yeah, man, as you see as you see Tua just go run the offense, everything's just so quick and everything is just like, hey, he's here. We gotta be on your toes, man. It's just like it looks like a good system that they have placed around him for it to work. The yardage was pretty normal, 290. I think it's like 298. And he was like, I say 20 for 28 or 21 for 28. So he wasn't missing a lot of throws. And I just feel like it was a good win. Of course, a defensive touchdown from Lawson from the fumble, man. It was just a good way to just start off the game. And man, I'm really happy, guys. I'm happy for this win. I am. Now, do I think we're unstoppable? Not really, but we're on a good path. We're on a great start. We're on a great start.
Vince?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're on a great start.
Hey, yeah, that was a quality win. That was an exciting game, back and forth between both Kyler Murray and Tua. Tua is now 2-0 against Kyler Murray if you date back to when they were both in college.
Mm-hmm.
Key things for me, man, Tua, like he throws a pretty ball. Like he definitely spins it. Like he throws a nice spiral, and it kind of looks weird sometimes to me. Still seeing a left-handed quarterback, but it's accurate. Like
it's accurate.
It's accurate when it comes through. He puts it on the rope. Like it's accurate. Obviously, as the weeks go on and he gets more comfortable, I feel like the yardage is gonna have an uptake and everything. But he did enough. He didn't really make any few mistakes, like you said. I believe it was like 21 for 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
Didn't miss very many passes. There weren't really many balls where I was like, oh, that was all for anything of that sort. He looked fluid. Miami definitely needs to fix the run game, though. That will definitely help his progression because they pretty much exclusively kind of have to pass because the run game is kind of non-existent, to be honest. They've shuffled in multiple backs throughout the season, and from Howard to Gaskins to Breida, there's not really any fluidity there. I don't know what it is, but with these draft picks that they still have, they can definitely get a running back or in free agency. So the good thing is the future is bright for Miami. Most of the team is, I believe, under 30 for sure.
Yeah. I think the oldest person is Van Noy, I believe.
Yeah, Kyle Van
Yeah.
Noy. So I mean, I said that I thought this regime is going to be the one to get things turned around in Miami finally. And it's looking early on like Tua might just finally be the one. Miami has been looking for the one since Dan Marino retired, essentially. Like, I mean, you had some other people come in and, have some success over the years, some slight successes, but nothing ever the caliber of Dan Marino. Like, that man is still in the top 5 for passing. Like, when we're talking about Breeze and Brady going back and forth right now, Dan Marino is still in the top 5.
Right.
And he wasn't in this passing era that these guys are in now. So that says a lot. The rules to protect the quarterback were not in place as they are now to keep playing. So that says a lot about Dan Marino. A lot of people give him a knock because he didn't, he never won a Super Bowl, but whatever, he's still one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. But another key thing about that game, Xavier Howard, worth every penny. He pretty much kept Andre Hopkins on lockdown. I was watching the game. I was out watching the game. We're watching pretty much all the games out at Hooters with a couple of my boys and stuff. So it was a point in time during the game I was like, is DeAndre Hopkins even playing? Like, I didn't even notice that. Like, you didn't notice him because he had him on clamps. Like, he wasn't going anywhere. I think he did end up getting a couple catches late in the game, but for the most part, he was taken out of the game. But quality win, and we're going to talk about the power rankings here. But we did have the Cardinals. I think we all had them at 10 last week. So I think I might have a surprise entry to my top 10. Just saying. And before I let Vic, if you want to speak on this, before we go on to Vic real quick, if the season were to end today and the playoffs were to start right now, the Steelers, obviously, we would have a bye week. I just have to throw that out there. But the point of me, what I was saying is the Dolphins would be in the playoffs right now.
Right now.
Unfortunately, they would have to play the Chiefs. But they would be in the playoffs.
We'll be in the playoffs.
You had anything on this game, Vic?
Yes, I had a lot.
Okay.
A lot. So I didn't get to watch the game, but I did get to see highlights of the game. And man, the future for Miami is pretty bright with Tua Tagovailoa as their starting quarterback. Things I noticed from him, he can get the ball out quick. He has a real quick release. His pocket presence is better than I thought, and is definitely going to go a long way for him, especially being successful and keeping himself healthy on the NFL level. Two plays that one thing I want to say before I mention these, but his how he orchestrated the offense before the half to get them into field goal range. I thought he did a great job. Showed poise. Got the ball out quick, got it to the open receiver, improvised it a little bit. He did exactly what he needed to do to get them in position. The fourth quarter, there was 2 plays. It was a 3rd and 4. Kyler Murray had shook Devontae Campbell. He came in free on a blitz, and then he, went up into the pocket. He scrambled up right, and Buda Baker was coming like a heat-seeking missile. Tua hit right, and then went in. and Buda Bacon just went right by him. Oh man, that was a nice play. Got the first down on that play, and then there was another one where what was it? It was another pass play. It was like 2nd and 4 with a little bit over 11 minutes, and um, didn't look like there was much. He stepped up in the pocket, and then he decided there was a little pressure that came outside, but he stepped up in the pocket. He cut right up the middle, and I think he scampered for probably 15 yards. Got another first down. It's just, again, he's a left-handed quarterback, so it's kind of throwing the defense off. Usually you're accustomed to right-handers, but just his fluidity in the pocket, even outside the pocket, his launch of like throwing the ball, his mechanics look good. Yeah, I was really impressed with what he did. And again, as Trey alluded to earlier, we're talking about DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Howard did a good job. I really didn't hear too much about him. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins had really a great game. Well, he didn't have a great game to his standards. But I know Christian Kirk, he had a good game.
Yeah.
Who was covering him. But other than that, I mean, again, we've seen last year from the Dolphins of what they can do without a quarterback. And no shots taken towards Ryan Fitzpatrick, but you can definitely tell night and day this offense is definitely better with Tua leading the troops. So again, the future is bright for Miami. Got a good quarterback, and I definitely believe in uh, Brian Flores as the head coach. He's definitely doing some good things for that organization. And this is my bold prediction, which I mean, it's not so much of a prediction, but it's going to be my bold statement. The Dolphins will be making the playoffs, and I believe they will be the AFC East champions. That's just
This
my
year?
this year.
Wow.
This
Oh,
year.
Vic,
Hey,
Vic, Vic, I didn't know you felt that way.
hey, look, I was kind of feeling that way too, but I don't know. The Bills kind of showed me something.
Look, hey, look. As much as I told you, Trey, before this whole season started, where I want this team to be. If I said if we can get 5 wins, I'm happy.
Oh
I'm
no,
happy.
that we're
No.
you sold us short for that. No, it's gonna be over that.
I feel like we can get 9. I feel like we can get 9, at least 9. I think we get 9.
The biggest
Sure.
thing is that run game. I mean,
Yeah.
That is one thing that's going to break or break.
Especially in the playoffs, you have to have a run game.
Yeah.
I didn't see much of that, right? From the highlights that I seen,
Because it wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
Yeah,
It really wasn't there.
It's that's gonna be the biggest thing for y'all. But other than that, I mean, I always root for all the Florida teams. I'm a Florida boy. I think we all are.
Of course.
But regardless, yeah, I liked what I seen from them. I mean, I was definitely, happy about that. I know our boy Vernon Davis. He definitely was put on his wish list a year ago,
Yeah.
before the draft, that he wanted Tua to be drafted. That was what his only wish was for the Dolphins, and they did exactly that. He got another wish, which he's asking for Atini. If I believe, I probably messed up his name, but the Clemson running back. If
Yes.
Miami can get him in the draft,
Oh.
that Texans first pick, that's gonna be big for the Miami Dolphins organization. I can say that right now.
Yeah, we get him. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my take on that.
Another game, boys, that I want to talk about, and I feel so bad for this young man. My boy Herbeasy. I talk about him every week because right now he is the front runner for Offensive Player of the Year. I don't care. I know Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow's not having a bad year by any means, but it's just this man's had like 4 heartbreaks in a row. This one was probably the worst one against Las Vegas. When I say he put 2 perfectly placed balls, like you can't put the balls no better in the goal line. So the first one he puts it there. Keenan Allen was out. I'm trying to think of the name. Was that?
Mike Williams?
Yes, Mike Williams. Yes.
Yeah, number 81.
Yes, he put the ball perfect. He had to go up only where he can get it, gets the ball, and he just can't. He couldn't hold possession, and he
Can't
actually
come down with it.
he actually laid there for a second. I'm thinking like, is he hurt? But he laid there. He just laid with his face on the grass, like because he knew
That was there.
that he should have had it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, though, 1 second left on the clock. Herbert's not phased. He showed poise. Comes right back. He goes back to him another time. He puts the ball again, perfectly placed. Because when you're in the goal line, it's kind of condensed. Like there's not really room to get anything. You have to be precise. Like you just ain't throwing anything. Like it'll get batted down or get intercepted. Put another ball, perfect, right on the money. Best place you can put it. And once again, he cannot. He just couldn't bring it in. He couldn't hold possession, and that's how they lose. So it's just like, I mean, for her, if I'm Herbert, it's like, wow, like what more do I have to do? Like he scores, he puts them in position to win. I believe the last 3 weeks before this one, it was like 17-point leads that they blew. This one was, I mean, they were within the touchdown. If they would have scored the touchdown, the game was over. So all they had to do. All he had to do was hold on to the ball. The game's over.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chargers, I guess they're another one, like with Herbert at the quarterback position, they have a bright future, but y'all got to get him some help. Y'all got to put a defense around that man because he can't keep doing this. Like, it's like every week, it's like, okay, he balls out, and then I'm just like, how are the Chargers going to mess this up? And every week they find a way to do exactly that. It's like he's being sabotaged. It's like
man. Well, shoot, I don't have too much thoughts on that. You pretty much hit everything on the head with the Chargers and the Raiders game. Definitely noticed that Kalen Ballage, former Miami Dolphins, he was promoted previous to the game, and he got his opportunity. He did some good things, but unfortunately, he's back on the practice squad.
Yeah.
So that was short-lived.
Miami might need to call him back, honestly, because
it'd be the best thing. But
we'll see.
Other game I want to talk about real quick is the Hawks versus the Bills, which is to me going back to the power rankings, which is why I feel like a lot of analysts, they have them outside the top 5. It's because that defense primarily. Offensively, they did their thing. 34 points, but they also gave up 44 points to the Buffalo Bills.
Well, before we get into that, I guess I'll give my intake on the Chargers, I guess.
Oh, man, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
I was like, I'm here. Why did they let go of Darwin King again?
Desmond King?
Yeah, why did they let him go?
No
clue, right? No clue, right? And they let him go for
out of it. That's it.
a draft pick for a guy that was all pro last season. Like, what the heck? All right, cool. I guess. That one. I guess Aguilar in Philly. I guess they have like some spell binding like magic over there because like this man's been catching everything since he left. This man had an amazing a year with the Raiders. A year. This man's catching everything. We're like, Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, he's basically their number 1 receiver right now.
Yeah. I'm like, the 32-year-old? No. Really? All right, I guess. Listen, until the Chargers put a young defense around Herbert, I see the Chargers choking more games. It's just how it is. I feel like he can put them at a point that like he can score like 50 points, but until that defense can do to stop the other side, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just it's just that he'll have amazing numbers, but if his defense can't stop the other side, it means nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it sucks though. It sucks though because it's not like he's getting blown out in these games. It's like he's literally losing by either a kick or a touchdown. It's literally those two things.
And another thing, just to add to that, is just you mentioned about them having a young defense. Of course, defense that's capable and able to, slow down the opposing team. But as we were talking about the running back, I definitely feel like they need to establish a run game, and I'm
Right.
sure
That'll
Eckler will
help
get
probably
that.
with time of possession.
Yeah, because having Herbert, air it out all game long, that's eventually you're gonna run into some problems. He might throw one interception, or he might not throw any, and it might be a 3-and-out, or
Right.
also drive
Or
this ball.
so
But
sometimes it might be a situation where they're scoring too quick. They're not taking
yeah,
enough time off the clock.
Right.
doesn't do the
And
defense no
and
justice.
yeah.
But going back to the Hawks versus the Bills game,
Hi.
Trey, you have anything to say about that?
Hi.
Russell. He made up for it in the second half because that first half was horrible. But like I said, he did make up for it. He tried to will them back into it, but he's kind of in another situation, kind of like Herbert, where it's like, he can work his magic, but if they can't get me, if the defense gives them one or two stops, they probably get back in it and potentially come back and win it. But he scored enough, like you said, 34. He scored enough to get them back into the game, but unfortunately, the defense gave up more points. So that's just what it comes down to, though. Nonetheless, though, don't get me wrong, he's still in the running for the MVP for me. I'm not like I think he has 8 interceptions now, but if we're looking at passer ratings, everything, he's still right neck and neck with Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Like they're all. The only thing is, I mean, he can't keep throwing too many more interceptions to keep him in the race. But as of right now, like his passer rating is still very efficient. He's he's still in there. But this game more so for me, because I've been on here the past couple weeks talking bad about the Bills. I've had them at 9, 8 on the I've kept them in the top 10 because I mean they were 6-2, but it's just like I said, the Jets almost beat them, Miami almost beat them, New England almost beat them. So it's just like they were winning games, but it's just like it's kind of like what Vick was saying earlier on in the season with Steelers. Like you guys are winning games, but who you playing? The Bills, they're winning games, but the competition that you were playing, you pretty much almost lost to them. Like
Right.
you hadn't beaten anybody credible for me because that Chiefs game, we seen what happened with that game. So it was just like okay, when you and they lost to the Titans as well by a good sum. So it was just like the teams that you're gonna have to play in the playoffs, you're not really sticking with them. So this was a good quality win for the Bills. They shut me up. Them boys came out there and balled. Stephon Diggs is having a great year, as is Josh Allen, who some people are saying he should also be in the MVP race, which his numbers are. He got some solid
Okay.
numbers as well.
Yeah,
You
he does.
you you could make an argument for that. You definitely could make an argument for Josh Allen. Um, Defense was playing lights out. They got after it pretty early. Like I said, it took some second half heroics from Russell Wilson to even make the game somewhat close. But in the end, once the Bills got out to that big lead, they didn't really look back. Like that was their game to lose more so than the Seahawks to win. Like that would have said exactly what I was been saying about the Bills if they would have let the Seahawks come back and win that game. And they shut me up. They proved that they are now 7-2 for a reason. So, I mean, still a lot of season left though. Vick just went on the record to say that he feels like Miami will end up making the playoffs and taking that division. And I mean, those Bills, they got some other games that they're gonna have to prove me wrong. They're gonna have to continue to prove me wrong, not just once. Like like them Bucks, they proved me wrong against the Packers, and then you see how that just went. So you got to continue to do it each week. Each week is a new season, basically. Especially at this point, you got to think about it. We're at the halfway point, right? But you got to factor in that we didn't have a preseason. So really the first 4 weeks, I feel like most teams, they were like still trying to get things together. So then another 4 weeks, okay, we're in week 8, but now to me is where the season starts. I feel like now all teams should be in football shape at this point. You got some type of rhythm going, because look at the Vikings now. That's 2 in a row. It looks like they got a rhythm going. So
Dalvin Cook.
That's a good rhythm to have. Keep it out of Kirk Cousins' hands if you don't have to, or as much as possible. So who knows if the Vikings can continue on this tear and rattle off some more wins. Who knows if they could potentially sneak into the offs. I don't know. All I know is I feel like, and this goes for my Steelers too. Like I said, 8-0, that's cool. We can't keep doing what we just did against Dallas every week, and being undefeated puts an extra added incentive that the team, it doesn't matter if they're a bad team, quote unquote, it's the NFL, no team's bad. But for some people, Dallas had something to play for just because they're still technically alive in that horrible division that they're in. The But for other teams, you could look at the Jets last night, for example. Take a team like the Jets. We go up against a team like the Jets. They have nothing else to play for. But to be the first team to beat an unbeaten team, that would be like their Super Bowl. So it's like every week we got to bring our best still. You can't underlook any opponent. That goes for anybody. Look at the Chiefs. They were in a nail biter themselves. So it's just like there's no real bad competition per se in the NFL. At the end of the day, they're all professionals. You can't go in and sleep on anybody.
As I say, any given Sunday.
That is true.
I guess the last big game that happened was the Panthers losing to the Chiefs. Last minute field. Crazy. You have any thoughts, Spence?
Well, since I actually got this one almost correctly, man, it's just like I said. I think that the Chiefs will win, but this was not going to be like a pushover. Sly, man, they have to do something about the kicking situation, because if he continues, that's 2 games that this man has cost them. Two kicks that this man has cost the Carolina Panthers a W. So, I really think I think they still believe in Sly, but I think he's going to make a situation that he's not, to make it a chip shot. They're going to try their best to make it a chip shot. Like, Mira, you can't miss this. You can't miss this. Like, the other 2 kicks, okay, fine, whatever. It's the NFL. Now we're going to put you in a situation where you can't miss it. And if you still miss it to the point that you can't miss it, bro, we got to find someone else that can make it. Because that's two big wins too, especially the ones against the Falcons. That was a huge one because they're in the conference. That's a huge one. But other than that, I hope C-Mac is okay, because I heard he got injured again.
Yeah, reports are shoulder injury.
And he just got back.
But they were anxious to have him back. As you see, they used that boy up.
Oh yeah,
game, run game.
Oh yeah, you lace them boots. We're going to use you now. There's no warming up. You warmed up when you put them on. But other than that, gentlemen, it's the Chiefs. Mahomes is going to find a way to get a W, because it's Patty Mahomes.
Yeah and no, because in that situation, that was out of Mahomes' hands. All he has to do is make the kick.
Yeah.
All he has to do is make the kick.
That's true.
And the Mahomes magic, as great as Mahomes is, there was nothing he was going to be able to do about that one. That was the game.
That's true. That is true.
Now Mahomes did, he scored a go ahead points to put them up. Yes.
Right.
Which that's what you expect him to do, but the defense again kind of, Teddy put them boys in. They did the best they could to get as close as they could to make a kickable field goal within his range.
Right.
That's the thing though. Over the years, you've seen plenty of teams go down, by a kick, and it's just crazy.
It's tough. It's tough. The question is now what is his range now? What is his range? Because we got to find it. They got to find it. They got to find it quick. Because I'm telling you, that's 2 wins that the Carolina Panthers should be having if it wasn't for Sly missing those kicks.
Which, to give him credit, but also at the same time, can't really fault him too much because that was a 67-yard field goal attempt. And there's only probably 1, maybe 2 kickers. Justin
Tucker.
And I think maybe Greg Zuerlein for the Cowboys that I believe can make those kicks. But I definitely
consistently.
Consistent basis.
But other than that, it was definitely, I don't think it would have had the distance. It looked like it was close. Maybe if it was 63, 64, he probably would have had the distance. But either way, the wind took that ball way right. So
way right to the right.
I don't think he accounted for that. But as far as the whole running back situation, I was talking with Trey earlier about this. And it's just like, dang, like every time a running back gets paid, it's just like that same season, they always end up having the injury bug, or it's just they don't live up to their contract. Like Zeke, for example, he's healthy, but he doesn't look like the Zeke of old. But
I know some Cowboys fans still waiting for that $90 million they gave him.
Yeah, because Tony Pollard looks like he's worth that money more so than Zeke sometimes, just the way that he's running the ball. But I was definitely shocked that the Panthers and the Chiefs had that close of a game. Of course, the Panthers were up. They had a good lead against the Chiefs, which
I think they were up 13 to 7, 13 to 3. It was they were up on them boys, but
they were up.
Yeah,
I think it was 13-7.
But Mahomes though.
Yeah,
we've seen him be. He was down 28 against the Texans in the playoff. Like Mahomes being down, like that's nothing.
Yeah,
he was down in the Super Bowl, so it's like that. I don't even look at that like he was down. My whole thing though, besides the kick, like it came down to the kick, but I know a lot of times we like to put the final say on like a 1 play or 2 plays. No. The problem with the Panthers has been all season, and this is what it is 1, they have a young defense. Let's put that out. They have a young defense for the most part. But their problem is they're bad on 3rd down. Like they have a lot of opportunities to get people off the field, and for some reason, like they'll stop them for the first 2, and then when it comes to that 3rd down to really get teams off the field, no matter who it is, they just can't seem to get that 1 stop to end the drive. I've seen it all season because really most of their games they have. I don't think they have a 14-point loss yet. As we've said, I think they lost the last 2 by 3. I think the biggest deficit they lost by was 10. They lost by 7 to the Bucks. So it's like they're in every game. They stay in games.
I think it was at least 10 or 11 against the Bucks because they were down 4 points, and then Leonard Fournette had that long touchdown run which sealed the game. So I think it was 11. But regardless of the fact, Yeah, it's they've been in every game. I agree with you on that for sure. And what was it? I've noticed that the head coach for the Panthers, he's definitely uh, taking a lot more risk than he absolutely needs to. Which
Uh-huh.
meaning going for it on fourth down, which again like you're referring to that they don't really have they got a young defense, but they don't look like they have that much faith in the defense. For why they're continually having to go for it on fourth downs to try and maintain a lead that you know they're a competent team, but it's just those things when you see a team do something uncharacteristic like that it kind of makes things a lot more difficult for a team to get the W at the end of the week. But um, yeah, Spencer, you had anything else to add to that, or?
Nah.
All right.
Okay,
Oh,
and you were correct actually. The Bucks beat them by 14, but just going through their games real quick
okay.
while we're on the topic. So
Yeah.
they lost to Oakland 34-30. They lost to the Bucks 31-17. That's 14 points. They beat the Chargers. They lost to the Cardinals. Or no, they beat the Cardinals. I'm sorry. Correction. They lost to the Panthers 23-16. They lost they lost to I'm sorry. They lost to the Bears 23-16.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Saints 27-24. They lost to the Falcons 25-17. And then they just lost to the Chiefs 33-31. So 14 points right now is their biggest loss of the whole season. Like they're in every game. And part of what you said, the coaching probably taking some unnecessary risk at time, that might have something to do with it. But I would have to look up and see where they rank on third down defense in the league, but I'm pretty sure they can't be that high because from what I've seen, the games that I have watched for the Panthers, when they need key third down stops, most of the time they do not get them, unfortunately. And
Nah, they get stuck.
but I guess did we have any other games we're gonna recap or we're gonna move
Um,
on to?
could do the Broncos versus the Falcons, but it's up to y'all. All right, then yeah, we can move on to the next topic then. All right, so on to the next topic. We have the COVID update as well as NFL injuries that have transpired this past weekend and leading into the Week 10 schedule. So, with that being said, Trey, got any update for us?
Unfortunately, I do. Seems like we had somewhat of an outbreak happen in Pittsburgh. It started off with tight end Vance McDonald. He had contracted COVID or has contracted COVID. And then earlier this morning, a report came out that four other players, Ben Roethlisberger being one of the big key ones, obviously starting quarterback, and then also our starting middle linebacker Vince Williams. The last one was a backup lineman, which, I mean, granted, you don't want anybody on the team to have COVID, but yeah, those been more so than anybody, like that being a key one because there's definitely no depth there. To say just to say that to say the least in regards to that. We dealt with that all last season, and not wouldn't be looking forward to that. As of now, from what I've been hearing, though, he still has a chance to play as of Sunday, as long as he goes through the protocol and he comes back with a negative test leading up until Saturday. Then he would be eligible to play on Sunday. Otherwise, Mason Rudolph back under helm for the
Here we go.
Steelers. And I would predict in a duel between Rudolph and Joe Burrow, my money would be on Joe Burrow to give us our first loss of the season without Ben. Nonetheless, though, Ben did have a scare during the Cowboys game which he left at the end of the second half, and Mason did have to come in, and we saw how that looked. But uh, I guess he's a trooper. He's going to come back out. He played through it, and uh, as far as the injury update on that, as far as I've seen, he other than the COVID, he would be fine to play on Sunday. So it wasn't a serious or significant injury, just like a scare. Second week in a row, we kind of had a scare with him though. So as Vick mentioned earlier, the O-line is going to definitely have to do a better job of protecting Ben if we wanted to see him get through the rest of the season. Other injury news: Christian McCaffrey is questionable to play as he had a shoulder injury his first game back against the Chiefs. I am especially invested in that because that is my fantasy football running back. Haven't had him for most of the season. Just got him back. He pretty much won me my game this week, and now I potentially might not have him again for a few more weeks. So not looking forward to that. Hopefully he can get through that.
Yeah, just something to add to that. It was kind of crazy because I've seen reports saying that Christian McCaffrey is day to day. I think that's a bit of a reach for them to even have him as day to day, which it sounds like it's going to be a week to week type of deal. But yeah, especially the fact that he's been out for so long, and the way that he was when he initially got injured, he was definitely holding on to that shoulder pretty gingerly, I guess, in a way to say. It didn't look like he was comfortable at all. He didn't look at ease. So yeah, they're just saying with that, like, I just wanted to add to that. I seen that report that they said day to day, and I think thought that was kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but um, also to note, Nick Chubb, he is officially back. I
All
don't
right.
can't say that he's going to be playing this upcoming weekend, but um, if all things point in the direction that it should be, then yeah, he should definitely be back. Um, a quick update for this Thursday night football game: T.Y. Hilton looks like he may be coming back. It's not for sure, but that's that's the word. One thing for the Ravens, which he was definitely missed this past game. Um,
Campbell.
obviously, Marlon Humphrey, he should be back. Um, Calais Campbell, he was injured in the game against the Colts, which it's a calf strain from what Calais uh, informed the media. But it is also stated it's going to be a week to week process, which he'll probably miss multiple weeks. Um, he will be missed. Levante David, as I stated earlier, hyperextended his knee. He said he should be fine to play this Sunday against the Panthers. And Richard Sherman, he has been activated, but he has his 21 days, so maybe he'll be able to play for the 49ers. Don't know if that really makes much of a difference, but those are all the news that I have. I don't know if you had any more, Trey, or Spence, if you have anything.
Prayers and thoughts go out to Kyle Allen because of
Oh yeah.
I think he broke his leg playing against the Giants. So now there's two
Alex
quarterbacks.
was forced to finish that game.
Yeah. Now a quarterback that I guess I was trying to build around, leg is broken, and now a quarterback that has to play for my team already have a history of a broken leg. Nice. So why Hoskins ain't playing again? But yeah, other than that, no, other than that, you guys mostly hit on most of the injuries.
Right. Well,
I don't know if there was an update or not, but I remember I read Sunday Granted, they were on a bye week that Baker Mayfield, he was placed on the COVID tracing list.
Oh yeah.
So as I haven't seen an update on that, but that was Sunday. So I would assume I will have to get more clarification on it. I can let you guys know on Saturday when we have next show in regards to that. But as far as I know, Baker should be playing come this Sunday, being that he probably would have had to been in isolation once he was placed on that reserve list to be eligible to play. So that bye week kind of came at a good time for them. But that's really all I have as far as injuries or COVID, unless you guys had anything else.
I'm good.
Don't got anything else. All right. So with that being said, we can go ahead and go on to the Week 10 power rankings. See who moved up, who moved down, and who possibly slid out of the top 10. Just a reminder to all our fans, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you have any feedback, it's more than appreciated. We are definitely trying to make sure that we continue to add and do things to make this channel go in the right direction. So with that being said, I will go ahead and let Spencer pop it off with the Week 10 power rankings, your Week 10 power rankings.
Well, before then, let's give up the whole NFL ESPN gives out there. So right now, number 1, they have the Steelers at number 1. Number 2, Chiefs. Number 3 is, well, do I have to say more? Anyways, number 4 is, it's okay. It's you. It's the Ravens. Ravens at number 4. Number 5, they play at Titans. Number 6, they have Bills. 7, they have Seahawks. 8, well, Vick, see you again. They have y'all at 8. And number 9, they have the Packers. And at the number 10 slot, they have the Miami Dolphins. Anyways, gentlemen, for mine, it's pretty much the same. It's just that some numbers and some people has changed. Everything pretty much same. Number 3 is the Saints, because the Saints is finally shown like this is the Saints. Like this is the Saints that we've been trying to tell. Like this is what you guys are. This is what we supposed to see all game. This, not these 3-point skin teams. This one. Yeah, eat the dub. Yeah, that one. Bills, I have to give Bills number 5. I had Bills at 7. Last time I had to give them number 5 after that. Seahawks win. I'm going to say this now and loud and proud. As much as I want Russell Wilson to win MVP, the Seahawks defense is what is going to cost him from getting an MVP. That defense is going to cost him. Josh Allen had 428 yards, I believe.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They didn't run the ball once. They just aired it out. They just aired it out the whole game, guys. They just aired it out? Not one, just aired it. That's crazy. That defense is going to cost him. But anyways, number 6, give Titans, even though they beat the Bears. I think they're still, regaining the wins after that one. Seahawks, I have to give them 7. Still top 10, have to give them 7. It's just one. I know, but Russell's gonna come back. I know it. It's just that, man, that team got to do a lot more for him, man. He's taking a lot of punishment for a year that he should not have to.
Hey, if I were them, side note, sorry to cut you off real quick. Curse McKinley was released from the Falcons. If I'm the Seahawks, I'm interested in that because they got to do something to try to help boost. I know they got Carlos Dunlap, but they need more. They need something else. They gotta.
I think
it's actually more so it's a secondary though.
Secondary, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not even a line.
Yeah, it's a secondary. I understand if the Bills run it and if they still have like an amazing run game, then yeah, I understand that. But this is their secondary. They aired it out.
Yeah,
it's a secondary.
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, man. Number 9. I know y'all firing cannons or pea shooters. I don't know what those are. Boy, y'all got handed on. Y'all got handed to on a platter. I don't know what happened there. Y'all still top 10, but man, y'all gotta show me something because I'm tired of telling you. Y'all played Carolina, and I'm telling you, if I saw the same thing I saw this game, I'm trying to tell you, Teddy's gonna get a win. And number 10, I have to put my boys in. Come on, guys, we gotta win, especially a good decisive win. This is now I understand. Oh, it's the Rams and all this.
Well, no. Actually, those are two good wins back to back. The Rams
right.
are having a good season as well.
Right.
So I mean, hats off to the Dolphins on that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, how those people's like, oh, it's the Rams and all this, but this is
the
team. Yeah,
the team that just beat the Seahawks.
Right, and the Rams not too long ago was in the Super Bowl. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, give me these 2 wins. So that's mine, gentlemen. That is mine.
I'm not mad at it. I guess I will go ahead and go next. I have the Steelers at 1. Despite the close showing against the Cowboys.
Y'all still undefeated?
We are still undefeated, and the Chiefs, within their own right, were a missed field goal away from having their second loss.
Mm-hmm.
And as of right now, they're trying to keep pace with us to take the 1 seed in the AFC. So right now, Steelers 1, Chiefs 2 for me. Bumping the Ratbirds or the Baltimore Ravens up to 3. Put some little respect on them. Good win against the Colts. The Packers got them at 4.
You got the Packs at 4 as well. Okay.
Packers at 4. The Saints 8-W. Shout out Winston. Yeah, 8-W. Danced on them boys. Okay. I got the Saints at 5.
Okay.
Like you said, I had them kind of ranked lower from 7 to 8-ish just because of, they were winning games. You can't knock somebody for winning, but they, like we were saying, skin of teeth. But this was a dominant showing. This is the Saints that we are used to seeing for the most part. So it looks like they got back to that against a quality team. So I got them at 5. The Bills also gonna put some respect on y'all name. I got y'all at 6. I've been talking bad about y'all every show, seems like. Saying that, you guys are 5-2, and then you guys are 6-2, but you ain't really showing me nothing. That was a decisive victory. It was a statement win against the person who, again, he's still in the MVP running, Russell Wilson. He lit the defense up, Josh Allen, 415 yards, 4 TDs. Great game. Can't say anything about that. I got him at 6. Now, here we go. Seattle, I couldn't drop them too far. I'm going to keep them at 7.
Yeah.
The Bucks, I had them in the top 5 last week, but I got them. They moved. They're still the top 10, still top 10 team. You're allowed to have a bad game. It's what you do. Does this become a trend? I gotta see what happens this week against the Panthers. We'll talk about that more so Saturday when we're going over our picks for the week. But right now I got the Bucks at 8. Tennessee Titans, got them at 9. They still are in the top 10. And the Arizona Cardinals, after that loss, they have been, I believe, the last 2 weeks, I've had them at 10, trying to make a climb up into the top 10, but nope, they ran into Tua. It's Tua time. And like I said earlier, if the playoffs were to start today, not the Browns, not the Raiders, but the Dolphins would be in the playoffs. So at 10, I got the Miami Dolphins, and they might have a chance to move up a little higher. Who knows? But
who knows?
As of right now, that would be my 10. Vic?
All right, so what's my 10? I still got the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1. Pittsburgh Steelers continue to do their thing at number 2. The Saints at number 3. Then I got the Baltimore Ravens, which I agree with the top 10 rankings that the NFL came out with. The Buffalo Bills, I got them back in the top 5. The Bucks at 6. Again, disappointing loss for all Bucks fans. Wasn't the outing that I would think that they everybody didn't expect that to be the game that it was. So it was a bad game all in all. If they do this again, if they do this again, there's got to be some serious red flags, and they could potentially be out of the top 10, in my opinion. I think they had drank a little bit too much of that Kool-Aid that everybody was out there out in the corner. So
drinking an 8-8, got it.
I got the Hawks at 7. The Packers, I have them at 8. Again, Hawks and the Packers, they're both teams that they're borderline. Defense is their Achilles heel. Packers more so they lack physicality. 9, I have the Titans, which, they've had some bad losses, but, again, I still think they're, a contender in the league. And then just because last week I had the Cardinals at 10, but the Miami Dolphins, they came out with a win. So they cracked the top 10 in my power rankings this week. So that being said, we can go ahead and move on to the Thursday night football game, Titans at Colts, which there was also a report that the Titans will be wearing their all navy against the Colts. Oh, and correction, that is the Colts in Tennessee. So apologies on that. So with that being said, Trey, what you got?
All navy.
There are all navy, the blue ones, like what they wore in the
all dark ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for that report. I guess that makes. I guess that makes a difference for them.
I mean, I get it because I know our next game we're wearing like the 1970 ones.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Titans and Colts. If you would have asked me before that Bengals game, I probably would have had a lot more confidence in the Titans winning this one. The Colts, they're just like, I don't know, because they're another one of those teams that are I feel like they're on the cusp. They're close. They're not a pushover. Like you see Baltimore, you had to fight for it. In Pittsburgh, we have them coming up, and I know that it's not going to be a walk in the park game by any means. I don't know what it is that they're missing. Like I said, I feel like they're right there to contend in the AFC South, which now the Texans are pretty much non-existent anymore. So it pretty much would come down to competing with them and the Titans, because the Jaguars are non-existent as well now. So at this point, I'm still going to take the Titans. Derrick Henry is still, I believe, let me see. Last I checked, I know Dalvin Cook did come and jump ahead of him in the rushing leaders list, but Derrick Henry is still top 5 in rushing. Clearly,
Yeah.
I want to say it's number 2 actually, but yeah, I don't know if the Colts have enough to slow that down. I guess they did a decent job against Baltimore in the run game for the most part, but Derrick Henry, that's a whole different type of animal. It takes a certain type of defense to really slow him down. Like it's levels to it, but yeah, I got the Titans winning. I'd say by 7. I think the Colts will keep it respectable. Colts keep it respectable.
Yeah.
Especially
Division game, so
division game is I don't see them blowing them out. And it wouldn't shock me if the Colts could find a way to win, but if you're good playoff teams, they find a way to win these type of games. Like I was saying about the Bills, they showed me that they deserve to be in the race in the playoffs in the AFC. They had a big win. I expect the Titans to bounce back from that Bengals loss because it's still in. I know it was 2 weeks ago now, but it's still into my head. So they they gotta show me. So, but I'm taking the Titans.
Okay. All right. What about you, Spence? Who you got?
Oh, all right. Thursday night. This is one of the games that it really throws us in a loop because we're like what 1-3 in Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that saying, I believe that the Titans should win this game. Even though, Leonard is having a good year with the Colts. Defensively, they're having a good year defensively, but that's Derrick Henry. That's a lot of running back to stop. So, I believe the Titans is going to win this. This is according to my roommate. This is a very big game. This is a big test, in which it is. It's a very big test. So, I think I should believe, and I do believe that the Titans should come out with a win on this one.
Oh, and before you give your take real quick, Vic, they actually put out a projected salary cap list or list for 2021. The Colts are going to have $94 million in cap space come that season. So if we feel like they're already like not that far off from being an actual contender in the AFC, depending on how they use that 94 million to bring in, I don't know, a couple more pieces. I don't know, maybe the offensive side of the ball. I do think. Eventually, Phillip Rivers, he's done okay, but you definitely need to find. Granted, they drafted a quarterback, but we haven't seen anything really from that. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, they're on the cusp in the next 2 to 3 years. The Colts might be making some noise. We'll see though. It just all depends. But go ahead, Vic. What's your take?
Right. So with my prediction, as y'all stated, this is a big game, divisional game. Titans at home versus the Colts. And Spencer, you referred to Darius Leonard.
Yeah.
With the year that he's having, could probably argue that he is up for. I wouldn't say he's the top, but probably top 5, maybe in the top.
Yeah.
Say, defensive player of the year nominees. Just from what I saw this past week with the Colts, so I may be riding a little high on it, but they impressed the heck out of me with how their front seven, those linebackers, sideline to sideline, Darius Leonard and Walker. I forgot the guy's first name, but the linebacker Walker. Those
I forgot. I know you're talking about them.
Yeah, those guys were killing it. Like, and not even just them, the D line, the defensive tackles, and the defensive ends. Like they were definitely setting the edge. They were getting their gaps. And as far as the secondary goes, it's kind of hard to tell because it's the Ravens. Not to really take a shot at my own team, but they're not really known for passing the ball. Even though the second half Lamar went perfect, which I want to give a quick shout out to Justin Houston because prior to the game against the Ravens, he wanted to try to take a line from Mike Tomlin and saying that We respect Lamar, but we don't fear him. See, Mike Tomlin
Mike
did that.
Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin did that after the game, and you know, we know the Ravens, Steelers, we have respect for each other. But Justin Houston, I don't know what that was all about. I guess he's trying to rally the troops type of deal, but didn't seem to work. It did good first half, but second half they woke up. But again, back on topic, I T.Y. Hilton possibly can come back, even though he's having a subpar season, but he has been injured most of the season, so that could give him an added weapon for Phillip Rivers in the short to intermediate, um, passing game. And other than that, yeah, I got the Colts winning this. I think it's going to be a close one. So,
Oh,
the
so
Ravens are the only team so far this season that has scored 20 points against that Colts top 5 ranked defense, which I think I'm not 100%, so I'm not going to quote exactly what rank they are, but they're definitely a top 5 defense, and they gained a lot of they gained my respect, more so just seeing what they were able to do and how they were stopping the run. But the biggest thing is their pass game, which they have a good pass game, so I'm not going to knock that. But yeah, I'm going with the Colts on this one. I think they're going to hold Derrick Henry under 100 yards rushing. It's my bold prediction. So
now this is gonna
Another quick
get.
note that I didn't even really take into account though. This is
Go ahead, sir.
like you said, this is a big game because this has division implications because
Mm-hmm.
they're sitting
yeah,
at 6-2 and they're sitting at 5-3. So the Colts beat
Mm-hmm.
them, they take the division. They're in the playoffs. The
Mm-hmm.
Titans are outside looking in now. So it
Mm-hmm.
is a very big game. So
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy right now. There's like I think it's 4 teams that are sitting at 5-3. Miami just happened to have that last spot right now. But the
Mm-hmm.
Raiders are 5-3. The Browns are also 5-3. And obviously right now the Colts are 5-3. So it's still a lot of football to be played. So that's why I'm saying the Titans, these playoff teams, you were a playoff team last season. You have to show up every week. Now the season really count. This is where the season really matters right now.
Mm-hmm.
You go into a slump right now, and you
It's gonna
might
be over.
you end up in missing the playoffs.
yeah. Well, one other thing I want to add to that is, just as to my reasoning why I believe the Colts should take this game. Um, you know, maybe Desmond King might have been the solution to the Titans' woes right now, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm not going to say it is. But they definitely have been struggling against passing teams. They've definitely given up a lot of yardage. And I believe that's probably going to be something that's going to be the Achilles heels, which also they have been giving a lot of running, uh, well, a lot of yards on the ground as well. So I think it's going to be more of a balanced attack from the Colts, which that's what they've shown. I think they've been the more consistent team. So again, that's just why I'm going with the Colts on this one. Um,
Another thing to throw into your point, even though I'm still taking
yeah,
the Titans similarly to the Ravens, and it's for most teams that are heavy run teams.
yeah.
If you get up on the Titans, it's a different team. Force Tannehill to have to beat you with his arm, it looks
Which
a lot different than when they can sit here and just feed the beast that is Henry.
Which they also have AJ Brown, which I can't say off the top of the dome of what his stats are, but he is definitely up there for in terms of second year receivers. I believe he has the second best stats from
Yes,
last
I
year's
was
draft.
actually just looking at that honestly. So yeah, for second year receivers, right now AJ Brown in 6 games has 31 catches, 457 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And in comparison with Metcalf, in 8 games, he has 43 catches, 788 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Which that boy, like I said last week, he was my top receiver in the league right now. He just took the number one spot as far as yardage.
You got him on
And
my fantasy team.
So I mean, that boy's balling. And then this one might be the most impressive to me, just because of where he's playing right now, which he's playing for Washington, which is McLaurin.
Mhm.
8 games, 50 catches, 692 yards, only 3 touchdowns though. But with that revolving door of quarterbacks, the fact that he's even eating how he is, you got to give your hats off to that boy. Yeah, scary Terry as they call him. So yeah, so some good crop receivers in that draft class. Good crop receivers came out this year as well. This was a heavy receiver draft class this year.
Jerry Judy.
Chase Claypool. Got to put my boy out there. He's been balling. It's been a few receivers that have actually been stepping up. So we'll see how it goes down the stretch. But like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this. The season starts now for all the teams. All the teams are on notice right now. The Bucks, y'all can't play how y'all just played against the Saints. Y'all will end up what Spence has been saying all year. End up 8-8 in a disappointment. You got to clean it up.
Big eights.
Pittsburgh.
Big eights.
Pittsburgh. We can't keep playing down the people. Everybody's coming for us.
Baltimore, continue doing what y'all doing. Like, I think they just need to go back to the offense that they were, doing last year. A little bit more no huddle, but at the same time, more run dominant. Try not to make Lamar something he's not. Just play to his abilities, his strengths. Don't make him like what y'all did, like what Washington football team did, make RG3 into a pocket passer. Just do what y'all do best. That's it.
Yeah, like none of these teams, like I can't. To me, like what you did the first half of the season, that's cool, that's fine, that's kind of irrelevant. This is people are gearing up. They know these last 8 weeks or so. This is what's going to determine whether they're going to make a push to make the playoffs or certain teams are going to end up falling out of the playoffs. So everybody from this point on is going to be putting forth their best effort. So you can't sleep on any team. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts do beat the Titans, but I'm taking the Titans. But I mean, that's more or less all I had. Did you gentlemen have anything else before we give our parting words?
Well, not only this is a very big thing for the Colts and Texans, I said Texans, for Titans. This is big for us, guys. This is the first Sunday. This is the first Thursday that we are all on opposing sides.
Yeah, usually we're all to a landslide.
We always. You have unanimous, but this one. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I feel like the Titans, they got to do it. They got to win this one.
Yeah, but
y'all have them coming up too, right?
Yeah. I believe it's next week.
Oh, next week. Oh, yeah, so you play them and then play us.
Yeah. So back-to-back big games.
Oh, that's kind of how we had it, and we won both. So let's see what y'all can do in the same scenario. Some tells me y'all choke.
Too soon.
Wow.
I just want to give a quick shout out to again, guy I mentioned earlier in this video, Tua Tagovailoa. Keep doing your thing. You impressed the hell out of me. I watched some highlights. I probably watched it a good 5-6 times. Like they were like 5 minutes. I'm not a Dolphins fan, but again, I root for all the Florida teams. I was definitely excited. I felt like I was a fan of the Dolphins. I mean, I just, future's bright for Miami. That's all I gotta say.
Let's do a fan interaction. So let's comment. So comment on the video below. So JJ say that he's not in this rebuilding phase. So what do you guys contender team think he should go to? So
that's a good question to leave us off. Yeah, so y'all go ahead and put that in the comments. I know we have heard some of the rumored places, but we'll leave that for another time. But as always, guys, you don't have to agree. You can disagree. I don't have the shirt on this week, but at the
I
end of
agree.
the day, they got me. All takes are valid. All right, boys.